Yes, guys, welcome back to the Sunday debrief. This is genuinely my favourite time of the week. We review all of the action so far. Often at this point in a game week, we're 7 games in. This week we're 6 games in. We have 4 still to play on Sunday. So we're going to have a deep dive on those 6 games. 5 were played Saturday, 1 on Friday. We've obviously got stats. We've got the visual stuff. We've got the pass maps, the average position maps. We're going to look at some of the minutes, some of the bonus points, and of course, we're going to look forward to game week 14 and what we've learned so far. There is a ton to get through. And what's awesome about this morning, it's not just the usual suspects. We're not just going to be speaking about Liverpool and Chelsea and Man City. They haven't played. We're going to be looking at teams like Nottingham Forest that, for some reason, we don't all have a Nottingham Forest defender. Like, they keep keeping clean sheets. We'll have a look at Aina, for example. Matt Sells is my goalkeeper. I'm happy with him. We'll look at that Brighton and Brentford attack, both backed so heavily in game week 13. So hello to so many watching. Let's have a look and see who's in the house. Saka, what a beast. Absolutely. We are going to talk about Arsenal in detail. Heather's in the house. Saka in from Mbeumo will be a very popular transfer this week. I'm looking at selling Mbeumo or Bruno. I'm not sure yet to get Saka. That was always the plan. I've got money in the bank to do that. Heather's had Aina since game week 1. Good morning from Peterborough, says Posh. Nice. Aina since 4.4. I think he's up to 4.8 now, isn't he? Gucci's in the house in Australia. Guys, do let me know where in the world you're watching from. The beauty of this stream is we get loads of people watching outside of the UK, which is awesome. We get a lot in Asia. We get a lot in Australasia. We get a lot in Africa. That is part of the reason why I do this on a Sunday morning, to reach a slightly different audience for those that don't get that many live YouTube FPL shows. You probably get the deadline streams and not much else. So I'm here for you guys, and I'm here for everyone like me in Europe that likes getting up early. Grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee, and let's get chatting, shall we? Let's go through some countries first. We've got Sarajevo, Sweden, Nepal, South Africa, Sweden. Again, Oslo's, the Scandies love it. Good stuff. Ireland, New Zealand. I need to clear my throat, don't I? I've clearly not spoken much this morning. I've been up since 6. Right. Let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. Egypt, there we go. Sierra Leone, Australia, Hungary, awesome. Algeria, Bangladesh. You guys are awesome. Thank you for joining me this Sunday morning. If you fancy hitting that like button nice and early, that'd be wicked. Obviously, there's loads of people out there lurking. If you're not subscribed already and you want to add to the chat, hit that subscribe button, then you can add to the chat. So thank you guys for subbing, for liking. Let's get cracking, shall we? With some Scout members area stuff. I always like to start here. Mackham says, bloody shopping turned up an hour early. Back in a minute. Oh, no. Saudi corn, yeah, lovely. ESAT replacements we'll talk about. Is music really in Antarctica? Anyway, over and under performances so far this game week. The underachievers are always the ones that missed a big chance or two, and we saw Danny Ings at the end miss an open goal. Evan Nilsson, 0.51's putting up quite good numbers, and so is Jorginho Rutter at Brighton. Played on the right-hand side. My problem with Rutter is there are 3 or 4 others, probably 4 or 5 others that can play on the right. Let's play who can play on the right-hand side of the Brighton attack. We know the left-hand side is Matoma first choice. We know Welbeck is the 9 first choice. And we know João Pedro is the 10 first choice. That right-hand side for Brighton, Kadioglu, full-back but can play right wing. Scored at Anfield playing right wing. Minter, started the season as the first choice right winger. Adingra, often off the bench to play right wing. That's 3. Oh, Solly March will be back in the squad soon. That's 4. And then Rutter 5. That is 5. Rutter's got the nod at the moment, but boy, is there going to be rotation on that right-hand side at Brighton. Adam Armstrong putting up fairly good numbers as well. He's produced all right in the last few game weeks, to be fair. Wouldn't be surprised to see Verbruggen play up front. Yeah. The overachievers, Strand Larson, if you own him, let me know. You just got 2 goals from a 0.24 XG. That's impressive. Sharda of Brentford, hat-trick off 1.25, and Kirkes coming up with a 0.05 goal at left-back. Kirkes, honestly, we've been talking about him a lot on this stream. He is absolutely awesome. Bournemouth are going to do well to keep hold of him beyond next season, or this season. I think there's a chance he goes in January. There's a chance he goes in the summer. Teams like Liverpool are looking at Kirkes. Emerson with his free kick from range. Gabriel with the header. And Kluivert, well, 3 penalties, 3 goals. Matoma, by the way, what a header that was on the bounce. So hard to judge. In terms of the big, the players in terms of shots and chances created, those that we might expect from those that scored points, Ismail Sarr got a couple of shots. Estupiñán, though, chances created, chief creator alongside Saka there as well. This is all in the Scout members area. I love seeing this headline stuff. It was Brighton that had the most shots, over 20. A lot of them were low XG shots, though, which is slightly concerning. West Ham had a lot of shots, 12 shots for West Ham against Arsenal. Slightly concerning for those that are on double and triple Arsenal defence, maybe slightly. I don't know. Let me know if you're looking at double and triple. Ariel loves these stats. Thank you, mate. We just blitz through them and then we do the visual stuff. So we look at the bonus points as well. Obviously, the goal scorers, the bonus monsters. Schade, Kluivert, Saka, Strand Larsen. Evan Nielsen, by the way, a hat-trick of assists for those penalties. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Still big points there. FPL James, thank you, mate. Best YouTube content of the week. Love that. Well, look, if you like all that stuff on the Scout members area, you can check Scout out for free. There's a link in my description. They're doing a Black Friday deal, which is literally 7 days free access. If you want to have a play, there's a link in the description. The Scout members area, I spend a lot of time on there, especially to prep for these Sunday shows. Arsenal, West Ham, I think we should start there. This is the XG plot from Arsenal, West Ham. Is Saka injured? I would say he will be fine midweek. Gary Neville described it. Every time he takes a penalty, he walks over to the penalty spot like an old man. He's always carrying a knock. He gets kicked a lot. I still think players don't often play at 100%. Very rare is a player ever 100%. Saka feels like he's probably 5 or 10% lower than most. Like, probably goes into a lot of games at 75. 75% of Saka is still a very good footballer producing FPL points for fun. He got his 20-minute rest. He'll be fine. In terms of Arsenal, West Ham, Arsenal impressive, right? 5 goals, 3.61 XG, 2 were pens. So we'll look at the open play XG in a minute, but we can see they're very good in terms of dominating football games at the minute. Like, at no point were West Ham the more dominant team in that football match. And we can see that West Ham will be happy with 1.43 XG. They'll just be devastated with their poor defensive display. I like this graphic at the top from between the posts because it shows the open play and the set pieces. Now, obviously, a penalty is a set piece. So Arsenal, you've got to take off like 1.5 XG for pens, but they still produce like 1.7 from set pieces. Sorry, 0.7. 0.7 XG just from like Gabriel headers. Saka corners are so dangerous. So are Declan Rice corners on the other side, by the way. Arsenal are a proper set piece team. And Saka is more desirable because of that. And we have to remember that. Oh, thank you, Sammy. It says, do hit that like and subscribe button, guys. I'm going to go game by game. If we got any comments on West Ham Arsenal, put them up. When we've got comments, I'm seeing questions about Johan Visser, for example, or Wood or Strand Larsen. Let's answer those when we get to those games. So for the catch-up viewers especially, and hello to everyone watching on catch-up Sunday lunchtime, for example, we go game by game. So now we're going to do 6 games, good 5 minutes on each game. So we'll speak, for those in the live chat, only about that game for that 5-minute section, just to keep a bit of structure. You know me, I don't do much structure on lives, but Sunday mornings are a little bit different. Yes, Sammy modding up, love that. Gucci, if you want to be a mod, you're very, very welcome. I love an extra mod. Thank you, Sammy, for being in the house. Sammy in the WhatsApp group didn't turn his phone off during the football yesterday, and then caught up on Brentford's display on Match of the Day. Love that. He'd have been very happy with the 4 goals. We're getting to Brentford very soon. Is Saka a must-buy now? I think he probably is. Must might be too heavy, but look, let's just look at the fixtures for Saka because they're very good. They're very good. Man United at home ain't a bad fixture, the way Man United are conceding chances. Let's see how they get on today. Still early days for Amorim. He'll shore them up defensively. I'm not sure he will by Arsenal. Fulham at the Cottage, fine. Not easy, but fine. And then Everton at home in 16. Palace away in 17. Ipswich home 18. It's the 16, 17, 18 you definitely want Saka for, guys. Maybe even Havertz too, genuinely. Genuinely, you could have, there's an argument to say you could have both. Let's see. Guys, there's over 300 of you watching, which is awesome. Thank you for tuning in. 400 of you watching. That's wicked. Everyone subscribe and like the video, says Music Kiwi. Well, yeah, listen to the man. Listen to the man. When Arsenal are high on confidence, you've got to jump on. You absolutely have to. Like, I write an article every week for Gimme Sport, and I have to do 100 words on a top tip. Sometimes it's like Captain Salah. Sometimes it's like go for a differential pun. My top tip this week was buy Arsenal. Didn't really matter who, it was just buy Arsenal because they're very good at the moment. And when Odegaard is back in that team, they look very, very different. And Odegaard is massively improving them, guys. So let's see how they lined up yesterday. Kai Havertz, as always, comes deep, but central. Odegaard drifting right, and a lot of their play goes down that right-hand side. This isn't anything new. Saka's the danger. Timber is very comfortable at right back, by the way, guys. Like, Timber at right back at times feels like an upgrade on Ben White. And Ben White's been amazing. Timber's a very good FPL pick in his own right. When Ben White's fit, I'm not sure he gets back in. Or Timber just goes to left back because Calafiori's injury problems will go on and on. He went off injured yesterday. Jorginho helps Declan Rice be in more advanced positions. Last couple of games Jorginho started, he's been really good for Arsenal. He just fits the system so well. And Saka, look at that. So high, so wide. When you compare Saka to the left-hand side, whether it's Martinelli or Trossard, there's no comparison. Odegaard or Havertz or Trossard, for me, it's Kai, because I do think we'll see rotation at Trossard, Martinelli. And I like Odegaard a lot, but I just think he's not the best FPL pick. I know he scored the pen yesterday. Timber or Gabriel? Gabriel. Let's check, though, if Gabriel's fit. Not that Arteta will tell us. Once Arsenal get a left winger, that's serious. Yeah, maybe, but they'll still rely heavily on that right-hand side, won't they? So that's how Arsenal set up. It was impressive. And then West Ham. Guys, there was loads of people telling me they were going to go from Mbeumo this week to someone in a very similar price band. And that was Jared Bowen. And I'm like, okay, I get it. West Ham have good fixtures. Leicester away. Van Nistelrooy's first home game. Wolves home, Bournemouth away, Brighton home, Southampton away. The West Ham next 5 are phenomenal. I still have trust issues. How much XG did the team produce? Not much. West Ham have had some easy fixtures. They had Everton at home only last weekend or the weekend before that. They drew 0-0. Like, West Ham are not a team that you can bank an easy fixture to win. Not under Lopetegui anyway. So I'm not sure I'll be going towards a Jared Bowen, for example. But, you know, each to their own. He's clearly West Ham's best player. If you are going to go for West Ham forward, you go Jared Bowen. But not for me. Yeah, I much prefer someone like a Matoma. Kudus will be back and he is huge for them. Yeah, you're right. Kudus is huge for them. And he's been, I think he's now available, isn't he, Kudus? I think did he have a 3-match suspension from that red card and now back in the team? You know, and actually, Bowen at 7.4 million, Kudus is 6.2. I don't mind Kudus as much. I probably prefer Kudus just because it's the investment in the attack is on a 6.2 player than a 7.4 player. So yeah, Kudus, at least he's well rested. He hasn't played. Oh no, it was a 5-match ban, I think. It was upgraded, wasn't it? Yeah, bad. So that's where we are on Arsenal West Ham. If anyone's got any final thoughts, let me know. Otherwise, I think we will move on to the next game. And I'm starting with some less fashionable clubs this week, but I like that. We're going to go to Wolves Bournemouth because a lot of managers own Cunha. A lot of managers own Cunha. And I think we have to talk about this football match as one where Cunha, as someone at home, could have gone bigger and better. Did I see Nigel the Crab's back in the house? That'd be awesome if he is. Hi, Nigel, if you are watching. Hi, Simon. Hi, Heather. Hi, Sammy again. I'm keeping an eye on all of the comments. Evan Nilsson's genuinely an option too. Guys, Evan Nilsson was meant to be on pens. Like, he missed a penalty against Chelsea earlier in the season, and you're on pens till you miss. And Kluivert is now on pens till he misses. Alarming XG for a home game for Wolves. However, Proj, when you know that there were 3 penalties at 0.78 XG each. That's like 2.15 XG, right? So they actually only in open play conceded like 3/4 of an XG. It's not as bad as this graph looks when you take away the penalties. The penalties are the 3 big rises for Kluivert. Other than that, Wolves were actually the more dangerous team. That's how funny it is. Like when we see the big chances here. So open play, 0.87 XG for Wolves versus 0.61 XG for Bournemouth. The open play games were very, very different. Wolves were the slightly better team in open play. But set pieces matter, penalties matter, and fair play Bournemouth, they got the pens. And look, if they hadn't got all the pens, they might have scored from those same movements, like Evan Nilsson close to goal in all of them, right? So laughable defending, absolutely quite right. Kev went Cunha captain, and you could and should be gutted because on another day with the open play contrast there, it's a different football match without those penalties. Kluivert absolutely gives Iraola a headache. Thank you for saying that, Sammy, because Kluivert wasn't first choice to start the season. Bournemouth have a lot of players that can play in those front 3 positions. And at the moment, we're seeing Kluivert get the nod. And his penalty appeal definitely contributes to that. Like when we look at the Bournemouth front 3, Evan Nilsson, number 9, the 2 that can play behind Evan Nilsson, and it is always 2, right? Now, Semenyo was suspended. And then it's Semenyo +1. Is it Kluivert? Is it Tavernier? Is it when fit Sinistera? Is it Atara? They all play in those roles. At the moment, Semenyo and Kluivert, Semenyo gets it probably plus Kluivert. But I think in open play, Tavernier would usually get the nod. But for the penalties, you kind of go with Kluivert. He's so reliable. 3 in a game is, by the way, the first time we've ever seen that in the Premier League. First time we've ever seen that. Oh no, Mackham sold Larson for João Pedro. Let's Talk FPL made exactly the same move, I think. I do think Mbeumo might be a sell. We'll get to that in a sec. Oh, Maliki has just become extended his membership. How does it work, Maliki? Do you have to like opt in every month then? It doesn't just roll on, I guess. Maliki is part of the Ultras. And if you want to join the Ultras like Maliki, then below in this video, there's a join button and you can sign up to the squad tier or the Ultras tier. Both tiers get extra videos on YouTube, and priority comments and all that jazz. Like Ben, for example, I see a question, I'll answer it. I think you probably got a bench Strand Larson, but tough one. So yeah, if you fancy checking out the memberships, you can. Thank you, Maliki, mate. Appreciate that. And look, let's go Chelsea later on. Maliki Chelsea fan like me. It rolls for Maliki. Oh, so maybe it's an option. I don't know. Membership automatically rolls. Yeah, I think it's maybe an option. Ultra is awesome. Oh, thanks, Keith. Yeah, I'm loving it. Keith's one of our newest additions from Australia in the WhatsApp group. Paul's loving it. Oh, my Ultras are in this morning. Hello, Paul, mate. So, what game were we on? Yes. 10 shots versus 12 shots. Take away the pens. As I said, Wolves slightly better team in open play. In terms of the average position on the pass map, we do need to take a little bit of concentration here. Hands up if you own 8 Nori. A lot of content creators own 8 Nori. A lot of content creators. I don't own 8 Nori, and I know he's dangerous, and I think he's a perfectly fine pick. But seeing Wolves, you only pick 8 Nori for attacking returns. You can't get clean sheets off the lad. And you should be able to get clean sheets in some of the home fixtures. Like when they play Bournemouth at home, you think you got a chance of a clean sheet. No, they concede 4. He did get a clean sheet versus Southampton at home in game week 11. So I don't mind 8 Nori for attacking returns, but when many bought him 3-4 weeks ago, they bought him because he was playing in the back 5. He was a wing back. He was almost like a front 3 player. Of late, he's playing in a back 4. And his expected goals yesterday was 0.03. His expected assists yesterday was 0.03. He was no more attacking, no more of a goal threat than Semedo on the right, or even, arguably the centre backs. I think one of them got similar numbers. So this isn't a good position for 8 Nori. We ideally, for 8 Nori, don't want to see anyone down that left-hand side. We want him to be down the left in terms of attack, right? One to monitor. one to monitor for the future, because if he continues to play in the back four, he might just become a sell very soon. Oh, no way. Welcome to the squad here, Lucian. Podina. Thank you very much for joining, mate. Where in the world are you watching from? Let us know. Let us know. And yeah, very warm welcome. Cunha's position yesterday is kind of where you expect, to be fair. He played the number 10 versus Strand Larsen. In terms of the underlying data for Cunha versus Strand Larsen, we saw earlier Strand Larsen 2 goals from an XG of 0.25, okay? But it was also a quiet game for Cunha. He racked up 0.11 XG, 0.11 XA. Didn't deserve a goal, really. Like, he's neat and tidy, but it wasn't his best performance. It wasn't Wolves' best performance. Oh, Sammy, good point. 500 watching, only 119 likes. I would love you guys to hit that like button. It just helps the algorithm. I'd love you to hit that subscribe button as well. Like, there's only been, this is crazy, 500 watching. I reckon 100 aren't subscribed. Only 6 people have subscribed this morning. 6 people. Now, partly, I've got such an itchy nose. Do you know why? I've just shaved. And sometimes I use beard trimmer, right? And the beard trimmer, sometimes the hair goes up the nose when you're doing it. Many men that use beard trimmers watching will know. And I've definitely got some little hairs in my nose, making me a bit sneezy. FPL Ben, just join the Ultras tier. Ben, if you've joined the Ultras, I need your mobile number to add you to the WhatsApp group. So can you DM me on Instagram? Because on Instagram, you can DM anyone. So DM me your number, or tweet me your number, or tweet me and I'll follow you, and then we can DM on Twitter, whatever. But I need your number, mate. So get it to me somehow. Lucian's in the UK. Good stuff. Honestly, this nose hair. Right, let's move on away from Wolves to Bournemouth. Kirkes. We speak about him every Saturday morning. We literally speak about him every Saturday morning. Jason Kenny's in the house. High and wide, Kirkes is an assist threat. He's had 2 assists in November and then a goal as well. We've got to rate him. He's cheap. Will he stay at Bournemouth after January though? I'm not so sure. But he's definitely playing well for a move. Like, he's upped his game. Kirkes for Konate isn't a bad shout at all. We like the Bournemouth fixtures. We do like the Bournemouth fixtures. Like, Brighton have got very good fixtures if you're looking for a budget defender. But Bournemouth have got Spurs at home, Ipswich away, West Ham at home, United away, Palace at home, Fulham away, Everton at home. To the 4th of January, it's when then they go and play Chelsea, Newcastle after that. That's like 7 great games. Or a great run of 7, I should say. Kluivert is absolutely their full-time penalty taker. Until he misses. You're on penalties till you miss at Bournemouth. Evan Nilsson knows that from earlier in the season. And I think Kluivert said, 4 or 5 penalties. Open play threat from Kluivert, though, it has to be said. It's very low. It's very low. In terms of an Isak replacement, I do think Evan Nilsson's an option. Like, why not Evan Nilsson? Evan Nilsson, fresh off his 12-pointer. The problem with Evan Nilsson is he gets a lot of 75-minute subs. He came off yesterday at 75 because the young Turkish striker Unas is around. But I don't know. I like Evan Nilsson very much. Look, clearly, João Pedro and Cunha are very good assets. They were the flavour of the week. And I don't think that should change. Like, one week of blanking for them both shouldn't change our view on that. Yeah, I like that. Kirkes for Lewis isn't a bad shout. Evan Nilsson is a great shout. Morning, John in South Africa. Welcome, mate. Points am I on this game week? I've not actually got a screen grab. Let me check. Reason being, you guys know I don't love mid-game week ranks. I don't like talking about them. I don't particularly like showing them. I will sometimes show them on the stream if I've had the majority of my team playing. But I've still got Mykolenko, Salah, Bruno, Palmer captain. That's 2 performances, and Solanke. So I've got 6 of my 12 to play, you could say. But yeah, I'm on 23 points. It's been dire. I didn't own Saka. I did own Sells for a clean sheet. It's pretty much my only good return. Annoyingly, I'll talk about it in a minute. I own Lewis Hall, who had a clean sheet wipeout in the 94th minute. When I show you in a minute. Semenyo is going to come straight back into the team. He was suspended. Newcastle, absolute disaster from them. It was embarrassing from Newcastle yesterday. If you're a Newcastle fan, let me know what you thought to the game. Or anyone that's seen the highlights, you're going to be blown away by the XG plot from Newcastle in a minute, guys. Stay tuned for that. I almost forgot. Loads of you are already in, but I know there'll be a good 100 of you that probably aren't already in my sleeper league. I am giving away a PS5 this game week, and next week it's back to the £100 Amazon voucher. Every season week, I give away a voucher, right? Or I give away a prize. All you got to do is predict the 10 results of the match day. So next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, 2 days' time, we've got another deadline. So get scanning, predict the outcome of the games. Like, will Arsenal beat Man United? Will it be a draw? Will it be a Man United win? That's all you got to do. Scan the QR code on screen. The link is in the description, and I can see you coming into Sleeper as we speak because I've got the live chat up. So let's get that up now. Here we go. Yeah. Mac has just joined. Alpolas has just joined. That's how quick it takes. You scan the QR code, and then it takes 20 seconds to download and register. It's all free. No gimmicks here. Just prizes, pretty much. It's fun. So come and play Sleeper if you fancy, guys. Literally, I'm rubbish at Sleeper, says G-Wiz. I'm rubbish at Sleeper too. Although what's quite embarrassing, this is really embarrassing. In Sleeper, when you go to the overall table, the main thing is the weekly prizes. You can join anytime. For those that joined at the start of the season, I'm giving away a MacBook for the season-long prize. You go to the table, you view all standings, and guess who's third? You won't be able to see it there. Third is a guy called Angelo135. Third out of 1,700. Angelo135 is my dad, who doesn't play FPL, who doesn't understand FPL. He likes old school. You see the pools. He just wants to go home win, draw, away win. If my dad wins, everyone's going to say it's a fix. He is 1 point off the top, winning a MacBook for the season-long prize. In a way, I don't want him to win. In a way, I do. Because I'll be like, Dad, I need a Mac upgrade. So, yeah, my dad is third. How funny is that? So, yeah, guys, get scanning, get playing. It's literally a prize every week. And from those 1,700, so many don't play each week because they forget. Big up Angelo. He's loving it. Doesn't even watch me on YouTube. He's never watched me once on YouTube. How funny is that? He's more into Serie A than Premier League, to be fair. He's a Milan fan. Ipswich. Oh, yeah. Forest Ipswich. Go on, Angelo. Honestly, don't know why he's so good at it. I'm rubbish. I'm like down in like 100th. Okay. Bring him to Fest. I actually might. I brought Dean Ashton to Fest last time. I was like, when I said I was bringing Dean Ashton, people were like, what? Guys, Dean Ashton, by the way, is going to join me on this channel on Tuesday. On Tuesday, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, I'm doing a 5-hour charity stream. So on Tuesday, between 1 and 6 p.m., come along on this channel. I'm doing 5 hours back-to-back ahead of the game week 14 deadline. I'm going to get Dean to join me for an hour. I might get Neil Robertson is a maybe. Vicky Sparks, the Match of the Day commentator, she's joining me. She's awesome at FPL. I've got some special guests of names I can't even mention. But note for the diary, between 1 and 6 p.m. on Tuesday, come say hi. Yeah, raising money, by the way, for Street Child United. And every donation given on that stream will be doubled. You give a tenner, the charity will get 20. Pretty cool. So yeah, come say hi. Yeah, Street Child United is the charity. They organise World Cups around the world for kids living and working on the street. Pretty awesome. Dean Ashton needs to be an ultra. Yeah, maybe he will be. Yeah, maybe he will be. Right. Should we move on? We already have in the Ultras group, by the way. Like, you're right. It would be awesome to have Dean in. We already have snooker player Neil Robertson, former world champ, in the WhatsApp group on the Ultras. He's got to be the most famous face in there. We have previous winner Ali Hangarov. Maybe he's close second behind. But yeah, you're not in the Ultras to talk to me on WhatsApp. You're in the Ultras to talk to Ali and Neil and people like that and Shai. There's about 20 of us for those interested in joining. Anyway, let's get to Forest, shall we? Guys, Put in the chat right now just a simple yes or no if you own a Forest defender or Sells. So I own Sells, so I'm going to say yes. Just want to get a rough sample. Yes, no. If you own a Nottingham Forest defender, yes or no. Just put yes or no in the chat. What is Ultras? Ultras is on screen now. It's like it's the WhatsApp group. It's a channel member thing. No. It says discount comfort. No. No. Sammy does. Ina, yes. There's a lot of no's. There's a fair few yeses. It's pretty much Ina or no's. Congrats, because Ina got 2 bonus. I think my audience might be bigger on Nottingham Forest defence than most. And you guys, hopefully, have watched more than one video. And you will know I've been banging the drum about Forest defence since pre-season. Nuno teams, you cover them defensively. Just like we did at Wolves, right? Maybe not at Spurs, but that was short-lived. I think there's still more no's. Sells, quiz question. Who's the best performing goalkeeper this season? Matt Sells. Matt Sells has more points than any other keeper. That could change today. He's 2 ahead of Ina. Ina? Not Ina. Anana. Gosh. Forest they just mop up clean sheets. Like they are, I think they're on probably 5 clean sheets for the season. It's very strong. The best thing about Forest defence, though, is they're so cheap. You can get 4.5 million defenders. I do think Ina's the best pick, and I think yesterday shows us that. Let's just go to the average position map, by the way. Look at Ina there, the right back. Like, you look at it and go, not as advanced as the left back. The problem with the left back is it's not always Nico Williams. In fact, it's rarely Nico Williams. Moreno is first choice. He missed out yesterday and Williams came in. Ina, will play every minute. He'll play every minute. Ben says, I'm not on Twitter. Is there any other way to get my number? Are you on Instagram, Ben? Are you on Instagram? I need your number for the WhatsApp group. How can I get it? If you Google me, you'll probably find a way of getting my email address as well, if you fancy emailing me. But I don't want to give it out. Yeah. If you're on Instagram, yeah, you are on Insta. Great. DM me. Not on a Forest average position, by the way. Hudson-Odoi is always a threat. We know that. He played on the left yesterday. We saw Jota starting on the right. Like, it's not always Elanga and Hudson-Odoi. You have to remember that. It does feel like if you're going Forest attack, though, you just go Chris Wood or no one. And the fixtures are turning. If you own Chris Wood, is he a sell? I don't think he is, because I think he's that good. And he's been that good. And look, Chris Wood yesterday, he gets a penalty. It's not a 4-point penalty for Chris Wood. It's a 7-point penalty. Because with bonus points, you're competing with your teammates and, of course, the opposition. If you're a forward and you score in this Forest team, because it's low-scoring games, they're not winning games 3-0, 4-0, and you're competing with the other goal scorers and the other assisters. You're Chris Wood in 1-0 wins. You're going to get all 3 bonus points. Yes, you're competing with the defenders too, but the defenders aren't overly attacking. They're not clocking up great bonus points, and they're often not that troubled. Like yesterday, they weren't that troubled. Ipswich didn't do much. So therefore, the defenders aren't getting that many tackles, interceptions, blocks, because the ball's higher up the pitch. So Chris Wood isn't scoring 4-point goals. He's scoring 5 and 6 and 7-point goals, and he got the 3 bonus yesterday. When we look at the Forest fixtures, I get it. It's not great. You'll be tempted to sell, and I don't mind a sell, but I think it's a tough sell. It's City away, Man United away, Villa at home. All I'd say is we're building squads now, many of us for the festive period, where we have 8 good attackers. For me, gone are the days of Tyler Dibbling as my 8th attacker. I've got Morgan Rogers. So if I had Chris Wood in my team, I'd be like, great. I start Morgan Rogers for a few weeks because he's got good fixtures. And I just bench Chris Wood for Man City and Man United away. You know, you can absolutely do that. He can form part of your rotation. And after a few benchings, before you know it, at the end of December, he's got Spurs at home, good fixture for goals, Everton away, Wolves away. Like, Chris Wood should be someone you can build into your rotation. If he's not, I probably would sell him. Like someone like an Evan Nilsson or Cunha or João Pedro are still clearly great picks. Ipswich, by the way, I do like them at home. I actually think Ipswich are really good at home. Like, they cause Man United all sorts of problems. Unlucky to get the 1-1 draw. We've seen them pick up some good displays at home, not wins but draws. Like they drew to Fulham at home, they drew to Aston Villa at home, they drew to Leicester at home, they drew to Man United at home. They need to start winning games at home, but they do now have 3 winnable home games in the next 4 games. They play Palace at home, Bournemouth at home, then they go to Wolves, they'll lose that, and then they play Newcastle at home. If you're looking for a really budget forward and you don't like João Pedro, at 5.6 million, you can get Liam Delap. I don't hate that at all. Palace and Bournemouth at home are good fixtures for Liam Delap. And Newcastle travel so badly as well at the minute. So whilst this average position map or plot map for shots is really bad away from home for Ipswich, this is typical. Do look at them and consider them for when they have home fixtures. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they're such a good team. They're bottom of the table for a reason, but I don't think they're as bad as we make out. By the way, Leif Davis is always fun. We saw that again yesterday. I don't think that's anything new, though. And I don't think we'll get many clean sheets, even when they do play at home. So, look, that's Ipswich. We've looked at Forest. Let's move on, though, to the biggest disappointment of the game week. And that has to be, Oliver's just said it about Isak. It's Newcastle. This is an absolute disgrace. This is an absolute disgrace of an away performance. Thousands of Newcastle fans woke up 4 a.m. to start their journey down to Selhurst Park for a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday afternoon. They spent hundreds of pounds. They left their families on their day off after a hard week of work, and they watched their team clock 0.04 XG. No. This is bad. Now, many will say, yeah, but Isak went off. Yeah. And Newcastle, when we look at their team, they should be able to cope without Isak. These players aren't bad. In fact, Bruno Guimaraes gets in the Brazil squad. Sandro Tonali gets in the Italy squad. Lewis Hall, Tony Livramento get in the England squad. Like, why are they not creating chances at Selhurst Park? That is bad. That is so bad. Look at this. Nothing from open play. And they created 0.04 from a set piece. Oh, and then they scored because of an own goal, by the way, by a player who's linked with them in January, Mark Gahey. It's disgraceful. Palace had 16 shots. They produced nearly 2 XG in open play, Crystal Palace. Fair play, you got your winner. As a Lewis Hall owner, I was devastated. I hadn't watched the game. I hadn't followed it that closely. I was just checking live text. And I was like, oh, I'm so unlucky. Like, I'm so unlucky that Lewis Hall's lost me the clean sheet in the 94th minute. I weren't unlucky. I should have conceded 2. That is bad. If I owned a Newcastle attacker, I'd be concerned. They've just lost to West Ham and they've just put up nothing against Crystal Palace. Honestly, Eddie Howe's got to be careful. Eddie Howe has to be careful. For a long time, we've spoken about Mourinho waiting for the Newcastle job. Obviously, Mourinho's in Turkey. I don't think he'll be there long. They play Liverpool at home next. Newcastle are going to get battered. I know they're at St James's and they're better at St James's. But on Wednesday night, Salah is a legit captaincy option. And Lewis Hall, you don't want him in your 11. Isak looks like he's injured anyway. After that, they go to Brentford, who are top of the home form table. I don't see Newcastle winning the next 2 games. Then they have Leicester and Ipswich, which is why so many bought Isak. And genuinely, for Leicester and Ipswich, you can, of course, buy them. But it's bad. It's been pretty ugly, actually, last couple of weeks. Eddie Howe has to be careful because, do you know what? The stats don't look good. They're also not passing the eye test. They're not passing the eye test at all. Honestly, I'm really shocked by how bad they've been. Really shocked. Need a number 10. Howe doesn't really play with one, though, does he, in that 4-3-3? He likes having the sort of worker box-to-box midfielders of a Tonali or a Willock or a Joel Linton in there alongside Bruno G or even Longstaff. Like, a 10 would do a lot of good for someone like Isak, but he likes, your Gordon types wide creating the chances. But yeah, it's been bad. So we look at this for Newcastle and we steer clear. I wouldn't be buying a Newcastle defender like I did a couple of weeks ago in Lewis Hall, by the way. And if you own Isak, where'd you go? Where'd you go if you own Isak? By the way, in the captaincy poll, 29% of you have had your captain play. So congrats on those 29%, because many of them would have gone Saka. Unlucky if you went João Pedro or Cunha. Prediction, by the way, for City Liverpool. Let's get to that at the end of the show. We'll talk about today's games in a second. So Palace Newcastle, I think we can move on. Enough said, right? Palace, by the way, they're better than we think. Like, the results haven't been brilliant for Palace, but they're actually playing quite good football. Eze's back in the team now. Ismaila Sarr is starting games up front. He was a 90-minute. He's played 89, 87, 89, and 90. He's close to a 90-minute man. He's a 5.7 midfielder. He's got Ipswich away next. Ismaila Sarr is not a bad punt. He's not a bad punt. Look where he plays. Because they play a back five, the wide men, i.e. Eze or Sarr or Nketiah, when he plays there, they're not that wide. The width comes from Munoz and Tyreek Mitchell. By the way, Daniel Munoz yesterday, yes, he scored the winner. He missed a huge chance earlier in the game. He clocked an XG of like 0.88. Munoz is genuinely worth thinking about. Like, Munoz has had some price drops this season. He started the season at 5 million because he's such a good attacking threat. What I also like about Munoz is international breaks kill him a little bit. Like, he always gets called up. I think he's Colombian. He goes to South America. He comes back. He looks a bit tired. We now don't have the international breaks for Munoz. The fixtures aren't bad. They're not good for clean sheets. Like, they do play Man City and Arsenal in the next 4. But after that, they look pretty good. I think Munoz will be in my team by January. Honestly, he's a real attacking threat. So we like the fact they play a back 3. Therefore, we like their wing backs. Munoz miss would have been a Sarr assist, would it? Yeah, okay. Nice. So let's move on, shall we? Yeah, a bit Village away. Tough fixtures, need to turn around. Yeah, okay. So let's move on away from Palace to Brentford. Sammy's in the house. We have to speak about Brentford. They are top of the charts at home. I say it every week. Brentford produce big chances like no other. I've not looked at the data. There'll be a way on the Scout members area of looking at this. Oh, gee whiz. I've not checked that. Really? How many people have... Only 200, not even 200. Come on, guys. Hit that like button if you fancy. It's also fairly disappointing. Only 10 subscribers today. There are loads more than 10 of you out there that are unsubscribed. If you like this sort of content, I hope you do. Sunday mornings are loads of fun. Hit that subscribe button, will you? Thanks, guys. And thank you, G-Wiz, for bringing that to our attention. Doing what a proper mod should. Sammy and G-Wiz, so on it today. Right. I was just about to say, Brentford, I know I say they produce big chances all the time. If you were to look at the percentage of chances they get, and then go, what percentage of those chances, or all the chances they get, small and big, what percentage of Brentford's chances are big chances? I bet they're top of the league. Let's say they're 25% and everyone else is 10 or below. Genuinely, Brentford don't care about the small chances. They play football, and Thomas Frank has said this recently on an interview with James Alcott, I think it was on YouTube. We don't let you shoot from distance. And then one of the players went and scored a screamer the days after. But they don't. They work it and work it and work it until they can work an opening where a big chance happens. And when the big chances happen, they've got clinical finishers, and their scouting department only buy forwards that are really clinical. Like Johan Visser was picked up because he's very composed in front of goal. He might not do much else, but he's an elite finisher. We saw yesterday Kevin Schade showing us why he has been capped by Germany. Like, he can finish. They spent over 20 million on him. They've bought a new striker in the summer, Thiago. We haven't seen him much yet. He's only just got back into the squad. Shocking injury when he joined. I bet Thiago's a really good finisher. Ivan Toney was a really good finisher. If you were Darwin Núñez, you could be the best footballer in the world. Brentford wouldn't touch you. Yeah, I must admit, he has been bad when so far, Schade. But I bet before he signed, he was good. They've seen something. Do we sell Mbeumo? This is a big discussion point. Thanks, FPL Ben. Yeah. and who are the best replacements? Well, let's have a look at them. I think it depends where you're going. So a lot, we'll look at Mbeumo and maybe want to save money because they might want to boost up somewhere else to get a Saka. Like if you've got Bruno and Mbeumo, you could very easily go Bruno to Saka and Mbeumo down to Ismail Sarr. Ismail Sarr's worth looking at. The vast majority, lots are going to go to Bowen. The fixtures are there. I don't like West Ham attack at that price. Honestly, I think I'd rather go Kudus as a money play. 6.2 Kudus versus 7.4 Bowen. You're right, FPL discomfort. That will be the theme. Do you know who I like? Yeah, gee whiz went Bowen, but it's a lot. 7.4 on a West Ham attacker. They don't produce enough, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. A lot, I think, will go to West Ham, as we said, as Kieran just said. A move I really like. No one's going to go here. Don't know why. He's a 90-minute man. Let's see if you can guess. I would like to go in Mbeumo to a 6.3 million midfielder who's a 90-minute man who plays for a team that produce more chances than everyone else. He plays in a fairly attacking role, also a creative role, in a team that produces more chances than everyone else. And he's a 6.3 midfielder that plays 90 minutes. Who am I talking about? It's not Mitoma. It's actually not Mitoma. That is a very good guess, though, and I really like him. It's not Brennan. Brennan's not a 90-minute man. Ah, you got it. You got it. It's not Neto. I love Neto. It's Kulusevski. Kulusevski's a bloody fantastic pick. Fantastic pick, Kulu. The entry point would be Bournemouth away. Fine. And then it's Chelsea at home. Fine. Then it's Southampton away. Good. I like Kulu a lot. I also like Mitoma a lot. It's got to be said. But I have João Pedro. I don't know if I want double Brighton attack, although maybe I do. Like Brighton, if we're talking replacements, the fixtures for Brighton are there. Fulham away, Leicester away, Palace at home. You could go down. You could go really low, just as a fixtures play, and go for the guy I can never pronounce his name. Sam Zomovic, Ipswich. He's not a 90-minute man, but he does have Palace, Bournemouth, Newcastle at home in the next 4. The other player I like, as I've mentioned a lot, and some guessed it, he's 6.2, is Pedro Neto, who's apparently fit for Chelsea today. He's got brilliant fixtures. The entry point would be Southampton away. I do like Pedro Neto as an option. Rutter's an option. The problem with Rutter is there's 5 players that can play on the right for Brighton. If you didn't tune in earlier, the 5 players that can play on that right-hand side for Brighton, honestly, Rutter's first choice, Kadioglu's played there, Minter's played there, Adingwa's played there, and Solly March will be back in the squad, will be back in the squad very soon. Yet we know for Brighton, the number 9, Welbeck. We know the 10, João Pedro. We know Mitoma on the left. Like that right-hand side for Brighton, Rutter's great. Semenyo's also worth looking at. Good shout, guys. I like Semenyo very much. He's a shot monster. The entry point for Semenyo would be Spurs at home. That's fine. And then you get Ipswich away, West Ham at home. To be fair, I'll have a very good look at Semenyo. Oh, Neil, we were speaking about you earlier, mate. Welcome. Neil, who made such an aggressive 4-point hit, selling a good player this week, Bruno versus Everton, to jump on early on Saka, beat the price rise. So he's got Saka early, and he obviously got his haul. So congrats, Neil. That is absolutely massive, mate. I love. He's a very aggressive FPL manager. I love how he's always looking for those high upside picks. He doesn't mind taking a 4-point hit for them. Neil was sharing that with our Ultras members in the WhatsApp group over the weekend. And I think I said to him, keep Bruno. I also mentioned that Bruno is likely to play in the midfield too, which I'm not happy about. As a Bruno owner, I don't think Semenyo's injured. He was suspended. That's the only reason he missed yesterday. Fellas in the chat, can't believe I bottled Saka. Yeah, because you're a Newcastle, West Ham fan. Sold Semenyo for Saka. Gee whiz. Very nice. Neil, get yourself on Blue Sky. He is on Blue Sky, fella. I did a post all about that. Neil said the Ultras chat has made me a hit monster. Yeah. I mean, Neil's in the Ultras with people like Freddie, who's on a -8 this week, and in the chat. And Freddie loves a hit. A fair few of our Ultras Absolutely love it here. And I think Neil has seen that and gone, it's working for them. It'll work for me. And it's absolutely working for Neil. In the Ultras chat, by the way, we also have someone who took a -16 in game week 10. He went from 44th in the world to, no, he went from 400th in the world to 44th. We have the world number 13 in the Ultras chat. So shout out James in New Zealand if you're watching. I don't know, Neil, have you spoken to James yet in there? Because he's always online at different times because he's in New Zealand. I'm not quite as active on there, but it seems a nicer place. Yeah, it is a nice place on Blue Sky, to be fair. But I'm still tweeting a ton. Not going to lie, I'm doing both. Is Blue Sky that supermarket brand? Wow, Keith's taken -48. Another one of our Aussies in the Ultras group, Keith. Okay, Forest, let's move on. Oh no, we've done it. We've done it. We've gone through every game. Let's do it. Should we do it? No, we've not. No, we've not. Hang about. We've not done every game, have we? We're on Brentford. Big chance, Brentford. That's what they do. We digressed. Huge amount of big chances. Awesome behaviour. Good finishers. Is Mbeumo a sell? We've gone through all the replacements. I do like Semenyo. I love Kulu. I like Pedro Neto. I think Ismail Assar at Palace is being slept on a bit. The average position for Mbeumo looks great, but the XG is not there. When we look at the last 3 weeks on his XG, it's so disappointing. Yesterday, 0.00. Everton away, game before that, 0.00. Bournemouth, game before that, 0.09. Fulham, game before that, 0.00. 0.09 XG in 4 games. Yes, and Mbeumo's a sell. Although I might be benching him because I might be selling Bruno instead for Saka. And Mbeumo is a painful man, annoys me as a fan. I think he's class, but yeah, he's not been on it recently. I think his head might have been turned. I think he's thinking about his January move, isn't he? He's linked with teams like Spurs and Liverpool, by the way. Yeah, it could be number 9 versus Villa, although I'd expect this to still start, but let's see. Maliki's on a -8. Another one in the Ultras group that loves a hit. Brighton versus Southampton. This was the Friday night football. This was meant to be the João Pedro show. It really, really wasn't. He got wrapped up, actually, by the Southampton defence. Did a good job on João Pedro. He was really quiet. Couldn't find the space in the pockets in the 10. Rutter was Brighton's most bright spark in attack. And Matoma took his goal so well. Shout out to FPL Chai if you're watching. Chai, I'll be streaming with him later. Bought in Matoma instead of João Pedro. And Matoma, to judge the bounce of the cross in, I think, what was wet conditions and time it and judge it and then finish it on his head. Yes, Chai's here, my man. He went Matoma. Oh no! No, Chai! Only counts if you own them. Only counts if you own them. I shouted out Kevin Sharder, but don't see me tweeting about it. Here we go. Chai gives me enough stick, so he'll appreciate the banter. Average position map, Janny. I'm waiting for that later on Scout when we stream. I know you love an average position map. Salah hat-trick today. Yeah, let's talk about the games later. Guys, I've shaved. I've got loads of hair. I've shaved my beard trimmer today, and I've just shaved, and all the bloody hair's gone in my nose. And I'm so bunged up and sneezy and just want to itch. I don't want to shove fingers up there live on air, though. FPL Chai, we love you, mate. By the way, if you're not already subscribed to Chai and you like FPL managers that play the game a little bit differently, do check him out. And while you're there, guys, there's over 600 of you watching. So if you want to hit these buttons, feel free. How many likes we got? How many likes we got? Oh, can't see anyway. Oh, thanks, Craig. Craig subbed. So I do think Mbeumo will be a sell. I think Wood could be someone you bench for a few weeks. He's been phenomenal value. So Brighton, it was meant to be the João Pedro show. It wasn't. The problem for Brighton at the weekend, they couldn't get big chances. Look at this shot map. Little chance, little chance, little chance, little chance. In fact, they had 22 shots versus Southampton, only clocked an open play XG of 1.38. They've got to do better to work big chances. Do you know what? They probably need to have a little look at what Brentford do. Oh, thanks, guys. No way. Gucci gifted a membership. That's awesome. No way did G-Wiz win it. G-Wiz, one of our regulars on a Sunday morning, he won a channel membership. That is wicked. Thank you, Gucci. Gucci in Australia. I think Gucci's in Melbourne. I've got that right, haven't I? Appreciate that, man. Neil, if you're in, are you still joining me on Tuesday for a little bit? You'll see at the bottom of the screen, I'm doing a charity stream on Tuesday, 1 till 6. I've got loads of special guests coming on at different points to keep me company because I've got to chat for 5 hours. And yeah, Neil might be around. He's a very busy man and he's got to focus on his snooker. But if he's got a spare half an hour, he said he might be able to come on and join me. Dean Ashton, by the way, G-Wiz. Dean Ashton, former West Ham striker. He's going to come. Vicky Sparks, Match of the Day commentator. Awesome at FPL. Thrashing me this year. She's going to come. And some other special guests that I'm not going to mention. So note for your diary, Tuesday, 1 till 5 before the deadline. Come join me. All donations given will be doubled for 1 day only. If you give a £5, Street Child United will get a tenner. Is one of the guests your FPL wife? Holly Shand. Oh, she'll be doing her own streams, I think, because it's deadline day. I'd love her to join, but... FPL Gooner in the house in Argentina. Love that. I have been watching your son, mate. He is playing very well. I've actually tuned into one of the games live as well. Loved his goal the other day with that left foot. Should I take Bowen from Matoma? Bowen from Mbeumo. I don't think I'm going to be buying Bowen. Brighton average position map, by the way. Estupinan, anyone? Looking very good. Estupinan, very, very good. All the play down the left-hand side. Honestly, when we look at rotation in that Brighton team, Estupinan does feel nailed. Like, since Estupinan been back fit, he feels like a set and forget. You can't say the same for the right back. You can't say the same for the right winger. The centre mids rotate a lot at Brighton. But Estupinan, he came back, like game week 5 started. He's only not started game week 8. All the other games he started, and he's obviously a 90-minute man. I do like Estupinan, and Herzler clearly really, really likes him. Yeah. Let's talk about the games later today. Southampton, Adam Armstrong, by the way, picking up some good points. I'm not saying you should pick him, but just a shout out to him. And then, yeah, channel memberships. What you'll get as a squad member, G-Wiz, you've won the membership for a month. I do a couple of videos a week. You'll be able to watch those videos just for members only. So, yeah, welcome, man. How much do I have to donate to get Melissa Reddy on? Oh, Maliki. I'd love to get Melissa on. Melissa Reddy, obviously a Sky Sports News reporter. Unfortunately, I don't know her. I do have maybe another very well-known TV personality, touchline reporter / presenter that might be joining me on Tuesday, who's an absolute star. You'll know her very well. FPL fans will know her well too, and she might be coming on Tuesday too. So yeah, loads of special guests. Where were we? We're going to talk about the games later on, weren't we? Games later on. So, where are we with the fixtures? Loads of 130. Oh, it's not Alex Scott and it's not Sue Smith, despite being fairly new mates with Sue. I've got to know her since going in Sky. Maybe I should ask her. Right, Everton to upset Man United. Let's do predictions. Should we do Man United first then? I think Man United win comfortably, but I do think they concede. I'm going to go 3-1. It's not Kate Abdo. I don't know Kate. Although Kate Abdo, this is cool. Kate Abdo comes over. You know we all watch the clips on CBS, right, for the Champions League. Kate Abdo used to work for Sky Sports News, now works for CBS. She is in the studio often with Carragher, with Richards, and with Thierry Henry for Champions League. You know where she does that from? Stockley Park, the same studios we do the FPL, the fantasy show for the Premier League in on a Friday. I'm there this Friday, And often I go in on a Friday and I see on the dressing room, like the same dressing rooms I access, will have a sticker on from the Wednesday night being like Thierry Henry or Kate Abdo, which is mad. So she comes over for it. So yeah, predictions: Man United versus Everton. They're not confirmed, so I'm not going to say who it is. But yeah, you've definitely, I've seen her name mentioned. Man United, Everton 3-1. I'm going for. Keith reckons a 0-0 for Man United. Do Man United do 0-0s, Keith? Do Man United do 0-0s? Yeah, Music thinks 2-1. He got some phone battery from somewhere. He was on Music Kiwi was on 1% an hour ago. 2-0, 0-0, 1-0. A lot going for clean sheets. I know Everton don't score many, but United can't really defend. Bobo Clint scored a couple of goals. Excuse me, against Man United. 1-0, 2-0. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's change it up, shall we? Let's change it up. Chelsea, the Cole Palmer show versus Aston Villa. I'm going for Chelsea draw. Behave. 4-2 Chelsea, that's better. 3-0, 2-1, 3-2, 4-2, 4-2. We all think goals. 2-2, 2-1. Look, as long as Cole Palmer scores. No, I need a Chelsea win too, I guess. But, Sammy reckons Villa win. Tired Villa. Played against Juve in the week. Chelsea well rested. Played the B team, as you would expect. Okay. Where else should we go today? There's another game at half one, isn't there? Spurs, Fulham, of course. This has got goals. Naturally. Right. Todd Spur. Chai, what do you reckon? 6 or 7-0? I'm going for 2-1. I do think Spurs win. Guys, I've still got Dom Solanke, and genuinely, I'm not really interested in Dom. Like, I want to sell him. He's still in my team, but he's not an emergency sell, but he's annoying me. He's annoying me very much. So come on, Dom Solanke, let's do something. Oh, Chai reckons clean sheet. A few are going for the clean sheet. No upsets today, says Chai. Well, all right. Talking of upsets, is anyone backing City to win? Is anyone backing City to win? Let's do Liverpool City then. Matt reckons 4-2. Liverpool Man City. I'm going Liverpool win. So yeah, Chai might be right. I've gone with the 4 favourites. 1-1, 5-0, 2-0, 3-0, 1-1. A lot of going for score draws. I do think Haaland scores. No Konate as well. Haaland to score. 4-2s. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Haaland scores 2 goals, probably. Just sold him. You know what's happening there. Guys, in terms of my early planning, I am buying Saka this week, and I think I'm selling Bruno. I could sell Mbeumo. If I keep Mbeumo, I'll probably be benching him because I quite want to start Rodgers in game week 14. Rodgers, by the way, has got Brentford at home. I quite like that fixture for Villa. So that's kind of my plan. But I'm going to drop a team selection video first thing in the morning. And then on Tuesday, as I said, I'm doing the 5-hour marathon stream. Come and join me if you fancy. Guys, if you've just joined in, go and watch the last hour. We've gone through every single game of the match day so far. And we've looked at all sorts of stuff. It's been loads of fun. Loads of you have joined the Sleeper League with your chance of winning a £100 voucher this week. I'm giving away a PS5 tomorrow, by the way. Every week, it's a different prize. So make sure you're playing in that. But guys, for now, on your way out, as FPL Mackham says, listen to the man. Don't forget to hit the like. Are we up to 300 yet? We might be close. And make sure you're subscribing on your way out as well. I'll see you tomorrow morning for another video. Good luck this game week. Let's go, Palmer captainers. If you've captained Salah, good luck. It's going to be a big day of FPL. 1:30 is going to be fun with so many players in action. I'll see you next time, guys. 24 hours. Good luck. Bye-bye.